Opening a bank account in the UK is an essential step for anyone planning to live, work, or study in the UK. Whether you're a UK resident, a new migrant, or an international student, the convenience of having a local bank account here in the UK cannot be overstated. You see, having a UK bank account, if you've been living here in the UK for a while, just simplifies financial transactions for you, from receiving your salary to paying bills. It just ensures that you're prepared for your life here in the UK. So with that said, in this video, I will share a comprehensive step-by-step guide to help you navigate the process of opening a bank account here in the UK. The first step is to determine the type of bank account that suits your need. In the UK, the most current types of accounts includes current accounts and savings accounts. Now, current account is ideal for day-to-day transactions. This account offers features like a direct debit, a debit card, and standing orders. Some current accounts even have added perks such as cashback on purchases or travel insurance, but they might charge you a monthly fee to offer you these perks. Now, the savings account is stable for saving money because it offers higher interest rates than the current account, but they might have limited fund access. Now, in the UK, some banks do have student accounts, which is specifically for students. These accounts typically offer benefits like interest-free overdrafts and discounts on travel and entertainment, because they know that some students like to travel and they love entertainment. So that's just the perks they offer students just so they can open an account with them. There's also something called a basic bank account, which is designed for people with poor credit history. These accounts offer essential banking service without credit facilities. Moving on, the second step is to choose a bank you would like to open one of the accounts I just mentioned with. The UK has many banks, including traditional high street banks, online-only banks, and building societies. Some well-known traditional high street banks include Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds, NatWest, and Santander. Also, there are online banks like Monzo, Revolut, and Sterling that offer app-based banking with innovative features. Now, if you're new to the UK, I found that it is easier to open a bank account here in the UK with online-only banks because they just have a more straightforward application process. But I will highly suggest that if you've been living in the UK for a long time, after you've opened a bank account with an online-only bank, I would also suggest that you open a bank account with a traditional bank here in the UK, just so that you have a broader way to manage your money, basically. Now, let me share some factors to consider when choosing a bank account here in the UK. The first thing I would say you should consider is branch accessibility. If you prefer in-person banking services, choose a bank with branches near to you, like near to where you'll be living in the UK. Now, let me use where I live, for example. I live in a countryside, and where I live here in the UK, we don't have banks per se. What we have is a building where each bank will take turns each day of the week. So for instance, on Monday, Barclays will come, on Tuesday, Santander will come, on Wednesday, NatWest will come, on Thursday, HSBC will come, and on Friday, Lloyds Bank will come. Now, there are 5 working days in a week, and in that 5 working days, it's not the same bank that would send representative from their bank to come help us with our banking needs in the small community where I live. So there are just 5 major banks. To be fair, I can't remember the 5 major banks that would usually come. Now, if you are someone that likes in-person banking service and you live where I live, you will want to consider opening a bank account with only the 5 of the banks that come to the building where we do our banking stuff in the community where I live. I hope you guys get what I mean. So you have to put this in consideration. So the bank accessibility, if you like in-person banking services. Another factor to consider is the online banking features. So many banks offer comprehensive online and mobile banking services, so you don't need to worry about that. But just put that in mind. Look for banking features, because I don't know, some banks might not have it. I don't know about all the banks here in the UK, so that's something to look out for. Another factor you would have to consider when opening a bank account here in the UK is hidden fees, especially if you're an international customer and you'll be using your bank account for international transactions. Lastly, you would also want to check reviews and customer satisfaction scores. Now, after you've chosen a bank here in the UK you would like to open a bank account with, it's time to choose an account. Now, let me share what to consider when choosing a bank account. Firstly, you want to compare different bank accounts before deciding, using comparison websites to find the best account for your own financial needs. Secondly, you want to consider a multi-currency account if you frequently deal with foreign currencies. This kind of account might save you money on conversion fees. Thirdly, you might want to consider opting for an account that would allow you to have overdraft just in case you need extra money for emergencies. But please understand the terms and be aware of any charges associated with the overdraft if you're going for an account with overdraft. To be fair, when you move to the UK, people will tell you to avoid credit. Yes, I believe you should avoid credit. However, overdrafts are not a bad thing. They can be very helpful if you need to spend more money in times of an emergency. However, they can also lead to unexpected charges if not used responsibly. So you have to put that in mind. Now, let's move on to the third step, which is the documents required to open a bank account here in the UK. Now, to open any bank account here in the UK, whether it's with a traditional bank or a digital bank, you will need to provide proof of identity and address. The specific documents required to open a bank account here might vary depending on the bank you're opening the bank account with. But typically, for proof of identity, you can give them a valid international passport. Now, if you're a EU or EEA citizen, you can give them your national ID card. You can provide your driver's license, that's your UK driver's license if you're a UK resident, or your provisional driving license if you already have that. You can also use your biometrics residence permit if you are a non-EU national. So if you come from any country that is outside the EU region, you can use your biometrics residence permit as your proof of identity. For proof of address, you can use your utility bill you got from either your gas provider or your electricity provider or your water provider, but the utility bill you will be using for your proof of address must be dated within the last 3 months before you apply for a bank account here in the UK. You can also use your council tax bill. You can use bank statements from other banks in the UK dated within the last 3 months. Also, you can use your mortgage statement or your tenancy agreement. Now, for international students who do not have proof of address yet or who are living on campus, you can actually get a letter from your university confirming your address, saying maybe you live on campus or saying wherever you live in the UK. Now, the fourth step is to actually apply for the account. In the UK, you can apply for a bank account in branch, online, or via the post. Now, let me walk you through the steps of in-branch application if you're looking to open your bank account in branch. Now, most traditional banks will actually require you to visit a branch to open a bank account with them. During the visit, ensure you bring all the required documents you needed that I've already mentioned earlier in this video, and all the documents must be up to date and they must be original. Now, during your bank visit, you'll be required to fill out an application form. Don't worry, don't need to be anxious about it. There will always be a bank staff that will guide you through the process. Now, when you go into a bank to open a bank account, use it as an opportunity to ask questions about the features and fees associated with the account you'll be opening. Use it as an opportunity to clarify any doubts you have about the account features, fees, or overdraft facilities if you have any. Now, let me walk you through the steps for online application. Now, some banks, particularly online only ones like Revolut or Monzo, allow you to open your bank account online. The process usually involves filling out an online form to prove personal details like your name, address, and contact information. You would also be required to upload your documents and scan your proof of identity and address. Now, for your online application, some banks might actually require you to do a video call with them or take a selfie with your ID for verification. I know when I opened my Revolut account, I did that. So I just took my BRP and then I snapped a selfie with it and I sent it to them. To be fair, opening a Revolut bank account was actually straightforward. So if you're new to the UK or you're looking to open a digital bank account, you can open a Revolut bank account with my referral code. The link will be in the description box. Now, let me walk you through how postal application works. Now, few banks here in the UK might actually allow you to open a bank account with them via the post. What you will need to do is just to send your documents to them via the post. So here in the UK, the postal service is actually good. They use Royal Mail, most of them would. So they will just tell you the address to send your documents to, and when you send it to them, they would tell you what next to do, or they'll open a bank account for you. Now, one thing you should know is that the process of applying for a bank account via post might take longer than if you go into a bank or apply for a bank account online. Now, the fifth step is basically a waiting game. You just have to wait for your application to be approved. So once your application is submitted, the bank will review your documents and process your application. This process may take a few days to a couple of weeks for some banks. Once you are approved, you will receive your account details. Now, most banks will send you your account number by email or post. Secondly, you would receive your debit card via the post. It will usually arrive within a week once your application is successful, alongside with instructions on how to activate the card. Now, the sixth step is to activate and start using your bank account basically. So after you have received your debit card and your account information, you will need to set up your online banking. Don't worry, you will receive details on how to access the online banking of the bank you've chosen and how to set up your banking app, password, and security information. Also, you will need to activate the card that was sent to you. Don't worry, the information on how you would activate the card would actually be in the envelope in which the card came in. After you have activated your account and card, you can set up direct debits and standing orders through your online banking if you have any recurring payments you've already committed to here in the UK. So for those who don't know what is a direct debit is a regular payment that you authorize with the recipient to collect from your account, such as paying for your utility bill. You can just automate it. It just makes recurring payments easier for you to make. Now, standing orders are regular payments that you set up to send from your bank account to maybe other account that you own, or to pay for your rent to your landlord's accounts basically. Likewise, after you activate your card and account, you can deposit money into your new bank account via bank transfer, check, or cash deposit. So as you can see, opening a bank account here in the UK is quite straightforward, but choosing the right bank account and the right bank to meet your financial needs is essential. But with the right information, you can make informed decisions and feel empowered in managing your finances. So basically, once you start living in the UK, you can actually open a bank account if you have the right documents, and with proper preparation, you can set up your bank account quickly and begin managing your finances efficiently. With that said, if you want to learn about 6 must-have accounts for managing your money effectively during your stay here in the UK, watch the video on your screen right now.